All right, let's jump right in. I want to ask you something. What if our digital spaces, the websites and apps we use every single day, felt less like cold, hard machines and more like, well, like nature? Believe it or not, it's already happening, and it's got a name. Seriously, think about it for a second. Have you ever just landed on a website and felt calm? Like, you didn't really know why, but you just felt at ease, relaxed? Yeah, that's probably not a coincidence. It's almost certain there's a really smart design philosophy at play, working just under the surface. And that feeling, that sense of, this is nice, it actually has a name. It's called biophilic digital design. And the whole idea is to intentionally bring the patterns, the feelings, the vibe of the natural world right into our digital experiences. So, what is it really? Well, it's this incredibly cool trend. It's subtle, but really powerful, where designers are looking to nature for their inspiration. The main goal here? To make our digital interactions feel less robotic, less rigid, and a lot more organic. It's all about tapping into that deep, instinctual comfort we all have with the natural world. Okay, so let's break that down a bit. What are we actually talking about here? Well, for one, it just feels more natural. And that's because it's literally using nature's own toolkit, the colors, the shapes, the way things move. And this is super important. It's not just about looking pretty. It's about reinforcing a brand's message without even using words. It's kind of like a form of intelligent digital storytelling, where the design itself starts telling you the story before you've read a single line of text. So that's the what. Now for the how. How do designers actually pull this off? What are they grabbing from nature to create this feeling? It really boils down to three main things. First off, you've got color. So instead of those really harsh, artificial colors you see a lot online, this kind of design just pulls its color palette straight from nature. Think about the deep greens and earthy browns you'd find in a forest, or the soft blues and sandy colors of the beach. These colors, they connect with us on a subconscious level. They remind us of those places and that feeling of calm we get when we're there. All right, next up, shapes. So much of the digital world is built on these really sharp angles and perfect rigid grids, right? But nature doesn't work like that. It's all about soft curves and beautiful irregular forms. And that's exactly what this design approach does. It mimics things like the gentle curve of a leaf, or the smooth rounded shape of a stone, or even the way water ripples. It just feels, I don't know, more human, way less manufactured. And the third piece of the puzzle is movement. Think about how things move on the screen. Instead of a button just, popping into existence, bam, an animation might slowly unfold, almost like a flower blooming. Or maybe new text doesn't just appear, it flows onto the page like water, or drifts in like a leaf floating on the wind. It's these kinds of fluid, natural motions that really make a digital space feel alive. Okay, so we've got the what and the how. But the really big question is, why? Why does this work so well? What makes it so effective? Well, a huge part of it comes down to one word: consistency. It's all about building trust. See, the real magic here is in that consistency. If a brand says it's all about sustainability and being eco-friendly, then its website had better feel that way, right? This design style makes sure the message is unified. It tells you, without using a single word, that this brand is connected to nature. It reinforces everything they stand for, just through the design itself. And this whole thing reminds me of a really famous, really powerful idea. It's a classic from way back, but it fits here perfectly. And it's this: the medium itself is part of the message. What that really means is how you say something is just as important as what you're saying. So let's dig into that for a second. Because with this kind of design, the website or the app, it's not just a boring, neutral box that holds the words. No way. It becomes an active, living part of the story it's trying to tell. Just think about how different that is. On your average standard website, the message is basically just in the text. You have to read what the brand is about. But with a biophilic site, the message is baked right into the design itself. You don't just read the story, you actually feel it. You feel it in the colors, the shapes, the way things move. The container and the content, they become the exact same thing. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. What if the internet, this huge digital world where we spend so much of our time, what if it could feel less like a cold, clunky machine and more like a natural, living habitat? That, right there, is the promise of biophilic design.